There is a tech revolution in the U.S., and not surprisingly, the industry is one of the highest paying. Glassdoor is a platform that provides company reviews, interviews, and job listings. Just released a new report with the top 15 companies for total highest median comp. Chief Economist Andrew Chamberlain with me now. Andrew, glad you're here. You have data on all industries, and it seems as if tech companies are among the highest paying.
That's right. On this list, there are some eye-poppingly high salaries, Deirdre, so high that you and I might want to rethink our career paths. So on our top 15 list, we had $150,000 a year was the lowest company. So $140,000 per year other. So to give you a sense of how high that is, that's about 3 times the median household income in America today. And so at the top end of the list, we've got very elite law firms, Skadden Arps in New York, paying $180,000 per year. So these are extremely high salaries. And the important part is these are not just average salaries. So they're not just being pulled up by a few super highly paid workers. These are median salaries. So at these companies, half of people earn more and half of people earn less.
So, Andrew, when you bring in the comparison to law, in this case, Skadden Arps, is it that tech in general, the average tech salary is still higher than one with a leading law firm?
Yeah, so all of the companies on this list basically fall into 2 categories. Law and consulting on the one hand, which may not surprise many people, and tech companies on the other. All of them are highly paid, but the reasons behind them are completely different. So in the tech industry, the reason salaries are soaring, it's basically a story about competition for super highly skilled, very hard to find workers. Software developers, mobile app developers, database managers, data scientists. Companies are poaching these employees from each other, and that's bidding wages up to levels we've never seen before. On the other hand, the reason salaries in law and consulting are high is for more traditional reasons, like barriers to entry. Partners at big law firms have networks of contacts, clients that stay with them for decades, personal reputations. These things are very hard to replicate, and that makes these employees super valuable at those companies and very hard to replace.
So, Andrew, since you are an economist, are there any broad stroke takeaways from this data? That is to say, seeing that, as you say, highly skilled tech workers, whether it's coders, programmers, software developers, or lawyers, consultants, that these 3 groups of people are getting paid better than anyone else?
I definitely think there are 2 really big takeaways. So one interesting one is, if you look across this list, not a single one of these companies is a goods producing or manufacturing company, which you would have seen 25 years ago. So it reflects this very broad shift towards services in the U.S. So all the highest paying jobs now, they're no longer in goods producing industries, they're in services. So if you remember back to the debate of the 1990s, things have really changed since then, back when there was fears about growing number of retail and food service workers being service jobs. The other big trend is that because more businesses are moving online, companies are now reaching millions, and in some cases, billions of customers. Whereas 1 or 2 generations ago, many service firms were not really scalable. Most of their clients were in the local city or maybe in the same state. They couldn't really reach that many people. So as these consulting firms, law firms, and tech firms are reaching now huge numbers of people, never possible before through the internet, it makes each of those employees far more valuable, and salaries have skyrocketed as a result.
Andrew, absolutely great perspective. Thanks for sharing it with us. Andrew Chamberlain joining us there, Chief Economist with Glassdoor. We'll be right back.